Welcome to Master Your Money, Budgeting, Saving, and Debt-Free Living. I'm your host, Nate Tanner. On this show, we use the Triggator Triangle, budget, save, and pay off debt to help you build a spending plan that fits your life, grow your savings with purpose, and knock out debt with confidence. And today, we are going to war. Not with people, not with your past, but with the one thing that has been stealing your peace, your paycheck, and your power: debt. If you've ever felt like you're stuck in a financial Groundhog Day, making payments, watching balances barely budge, wondering if you'll ever be free, this episode, it's your battle plan. We're going to walk through how to choose your weapon, whether it's the Snowball, Avalanche, or custom that fits your life. Build a personalized debt battle plan using the worksheet from our recent ebook. We'll help you find snowflakes, those sneaky dollars hiding in your spending, and redirect them towards freedom. And most importantly, how to stay motivated when progress feels slow and the finish line feels so far away. Because here's the truth: you can win this fight. You don't need perfect math. You need a plan that works for your real life and the courage to keep swinging. As Winston Churchill once said, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. So whether you're just starting your debt-free journey or if you've been in the trenches for a while, this episode is your rally cry. Grab your plan, grab your purpose. Let's fight back and win. Choosing your weapon. All right, soldier, before we charge into battle, we need to pick your weapon. When it comes to paying off debt, there's no one-size-fits-all sword. Some folks need a quick win to stay motivated. Others want to save the most money over time. And some, they need a hybrid approach that fits their life, not just a spreadsheet. Let's break down the three major strategies: Snowball, Avalanche, and Custom. Each one has its strengths, and the best one for you depends on your mindset, your money habits, and your motivation style. The Snowball method, momentum over math. The Snowball method is about psychology. You list your debts from smallest to largest balance, you ignore the interest rates for now, and you attack that smallest balance first while making minimum payments on the rest. Why? Because quick wins, they can build momentum. You get that first paid in full moment faster, and it feels amazing. Like knocking out the first level boss in a video game. It gives you confidence to keep going. A quick stat check. A study published in the Harvard Business Review found that people who used the Snowball method were more likely to stick with their debt payoff plan, even if it wasn't the most mathematically efficient. The emotional boost of early wins helped them stay committed long enough to finish the job. Remember the Mandalorian? When Mando takes on a bounty, he doesn't try to solve the whole galaxy's problems at once. He focuses on one mission at a time. That's the Snowball method. You focus on that lowest balance debt. One win. Then you move on to the next. This method is perfect if you've struggled with consistency or if your debt feels overwhelming. It's like clearing clutter. Start with the junk drawer, not the garage. You build belief in every balance you wipe out. But here's the trade-off. You might pay more in interest over time. That's the price of the momentum of this plan. And for many people, it's worth it. The Avalanche method. Math over momentum. Now, if you're the type who loves spreadsheets, hates wasting money on interest, and gets a thrill from optimization, the Avalanche method might be your jam. Here's how it works. You list your debts by interest rate, from the highest rate to the lowest. Then you pay off the one with the highest interest rate first, regardless of the balance. This method saves you the most money in the long run. But it can feel slow at first, especially if your highest interest debt is also one of your biggest. You might be chipping away at the same balance for months before you see that big win. Here's a quick stat for you. According to the National Bureau of Economic Research, the Avalanche method can save hundreds, even thousands of dollars in interest over time, especially for those with high-rate credit cards. This method might be ideal if you're motivated by efficiency and long-term gains. If you're the kind of person who tracks your steps, optimizes your grocery list, or gets excited about compound interest, Avalanche might be your financial soulmate. But if you're someone who needs visible progress to stay engaged, Avalanche can feel like watching paint dry. That's where the third option comes in. The custom, real-life wins. Here's the truth. Most people don't live in a vacuum. You've got emotions, goals, family, and maybe a few curveballs life's thrown your way. That's where the custom method comes in. Maybe you start with the Snowball to get some wins, then you switch to Avalanche once you've built that momentum. Or maybe you prioritize the debt that's emotionally draining, like the loan from your ex, or in my case, the loan from my brother, or that card that maybe reminds you of a tough season in your life. The Triggator Triangle is all about clarity, action, and progress, so your plan should reflect your life, not just what the calculator says. Here's another stat for you. In 2023, a CNBC survey found that 78% of Americans with debt said emotional stress, not interest, was their biggest motivator for paying it off. Think of it like building your own playlist. You don't just hit shuffle all. You pick the songs that match your mood, your energy, your moment. Your debt payoff plan should do the same. The custom method is flexible, forgiving, and focused on what matters most for you. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. Now, how do you choose? Here's a quick gut check. If you need motivation and quick wins, go Snowball. If you want to save the most money, pick the Avalanche. If you want flexibility and emotional clarity, look at the custom method. And remember, you're not locked into any strategy. You can make a switch. This isn't a tattoo. It's a tool. The best plan is the one you'll actually stick with. If you're still unsure, grab the Debt Battle Plan worksheet from the Money Made Manageable ebook. For a limited time, you can download it free at Triggator.com/download-ebook. It walks you through your balances, interest rates, and emotional triggers so that you can make a decision that is both smart and sustainable. Because at the end of the day, it isn't just about numbers, it's about freedom. And freedom, it starts with a plan that works for you. Building your debt battle plan. When I was younger, I loved playing real-time strategy games. Warcraft, Starcraft, Age of Empires, Command and Conquer, those were all my favorites. If you've never played one, here's the gist. You start with a central base where you research tech, train troops, and build defenses. Scattered across the map are enemy bases doing the same in real time. Your goal? Defeat them. Either eliminate them completely or force them to surrender. To win, you need strategy. You need the right troops, and you need to strengthen your base. That's exactly how we're going to approach your debt battle plan. This isn't just about throwing money at bills. It's about building a smart, sustainable strategy that fits your life and leads you to victory, aka debt freedom. Let's break it down and build your plan. Step 1, scout the enemy's base, meaning list your debts. In every real-time strategy game, the first thing you do is scout. You send out a unit to explore the map, find your enemies, and see what you're up against. You don't just charge in blind, you gather intel. That's what we're doing here. Start by listing every debt you owe. Include the lender name, the total balance, minimum monthly payment, the interest rate, and the due date. This is your scouting report. It tells you what kind of troops, aka dollars, you'll need, where your weak spots are, and which enemies are most vulnerable. Here's your action step. Download that free worksheet at Triggator.com/download-ebook. It's your command center for this mission. Here's a quick pro tip. Don't guess. Log into your account or call your lenders. You want accurate intel because clarity is power. Step 2, build your army, meaning choose your strategy. Once you've scouted the enemy bases, it's time to build your army and decide how you're going to attack. Sometimes while scouting, you'll find an enemy with weak defenses. That's your opportunity for a quick win. In one of my favorite games, StarCraft, there was this race called the Zerg. They were a bug-like, hive mind, and fast-growing group. If you didn't hit them early, they'll overwhelm you. So the strategy, attack fast and hard before they grow too strong. Your debts are the same. Some are small and easy to knock out. Others are growing fast with high interest. Your strategy depends on what you're facing. Let's break down your options. Snowball, again, order by balance, low to high. This is like targeting the weakest enemy first. You send in your troops, get a quick win, and build momentum. Each victory gives you more confidence and more troops for the next battle. Avalanche, remember, ordering by interest rate, high to low. This is kind of like going after the Zerg that I talked about. You identify the biggest threat, the debt that is growing the fastest, and take it out before it drains your resources. It's efficient, but it might take longer to see your first win. Custom, doing it in your own order. Sometimes strategy isn't just about numbers. When I used to play with my friends, I knew which one of my friends were a real threat. Even if their base looked small, I would focus on them first because I knew that they could derail my whole game. Same with debt. Maybe there's a loan that's emotionally draining or a credit card tied to that tough season in life. If knocking that one out first gives you peace of mind and motivation, do it. That's your custom strategy. Here's your action step. Use the worksheet that we talked about to reorder your debts based on your chosen strategy. This is your battle map. Step 3, maintain your base and send in your troops, meaning calculate your attack budget. One of the biggest mistakes that players make in these real-time strategy games, they build a massive army but forget to defend their base. Then, boom, they get wiped out from behind. You've got to fortify your base first. This means securing your budget and save sides of the Triggator Triangle before you go all in on debt. Once your base is stable, calculate your attack budget, the extra money that you can throw at your top priority debt each month. This is your initial snowball. Here's your action step. Go through your spending plan and look for areas to redirect funds. This could mean canceling an unused subscription, cutting back on takeout, selling something that you don't use. Even $25 or $50 a month, it can make a difference. That's how you build momentum and start winning battles. A quick stat check. A U.S. bank study found that the average household wastes over $1,400 a year on unused subscriptions and impulse buys. That's over $100 a month you could redirect towards your debt. Here's a bonus tip. In some of these games, you could upgrade your base to train troops faster. That meant you could send more into battle and win quicker. In your debt plan, snowflakes are your upgrade. A snowflake is extra money that you occasionally send into your debt battle. It can be from a bonus, a refund, a gift, or even just that $6 that you saved by skipping Starbucks today. It's like increasing your troop training rate. More troops, faster wins, and I have to admit, it was always fun to see my friends' reactions when my snowflake troops entered the fray unexpectedly. Step 4, deploy your first attack. Target identified and ready to be eliminated. You've done the prep, you've built your army, now it's time to attack. Focus all your extra money on that first debt in your plan. Everything else gets minimum payments, just enough to keep your defenses strong and prevent the enemy from growing. Once that first debt is gone, don't let your troops rest. Roll those troops into your next debt. This is your debt snowball or avalanche momentum, and it's how you win faster. Here's your action step. Update your worksheet with your new payment plan. Watch how your momentum builds. Step 5, review and adjust. This is real-time strategy. In real-time strategy games, the map changes constantly. The fog of war, it hides what your enemies are doing, and you have to keep scouting, adjusting, and adapting. Same with your debt battle plan. Every month, review your progress. Did your income change? Did a debt get paid off? Can you increase your snowball? Maybe a new opportunity popped up. Maybe a challenge hit. That's okay. Adjust your plan and keep moving. Here's your action step. Celebrate your wins. Paid off a debt? Halfway through a big one? That's a victory. Mark it. Share it. Use it to fuel your next move. A quick stat check. A Northwestern Mutual study found that people who reviewed their financial plan monthly were 2 times more likely to stay on track with their goals. Mindset matters. This isn't just about numbers, it's about identity. Every payment you make is a declaration. I'm someone who follows through. I'm someone who finishes what I start. You're not just paying off debt, you're building discipline, you're building confidence, you're building a new story. And that story, it ends with freedom. Finding snowflakes and staying motivated. Let's be real. Paying off debt isn't always exciting. It's not flashy, and it's not always fast. Some days it feels like you're sending your money army into battle with a slingshot and a prayer. That's why this section is all about 2 things. Finding snowflakes, those surprise reinforcements that can speed up your progress, and staying motivated, even when the battle drags on longer than you expected. So what is a snowflake? In the Triggator world, a snowflake is any extra money that shows up unexpectedly or irregularly and gets thrown at your debt. It's not part of your regular spending plan. It's not your initial snowball that's part of your attack budget. It's the bonus troops you didn't know you had. Snowflakes can come from a tax refund, a birthday gift, a rebate check, selling something that you don't use, a freelance gig or side hustle payout, or skipping your usual Friday night takeout and tossing that $20 towards your debt. Sometimes they're small, sometimes they're sneaky, but when they're used strategically, they're always powerful. Think of snowflakes like reinforcements in your real-time strategy game. You're in the middle of a tough battle, and then suddenly, boom, backup arrives. It's not part of your original plan, but it gives you the edge that you need so that you can win faster. How to spot snowflakes in the wild. Snowflakes don't always announce themselves. You have to train your brain to spot them. Here's how. Check your bank account regularly. Did you get a refund or a reimbursement that you forgot about or forgot was coming in? Audit your spending. Did you skip a purchase that you normally make? When you look at your plan versus actual, can you reallocate some of that? That can be a snowflake. Maybe you sell something. Got an old bike, camera, or gaming console that's just collecting dust? Sell it and send that cash into battle. Here's your action step. Find a snowflake within your spending plan. And then every time you find one, make sure you throw it at your current debt target. And then watch how those little wins stack up. Now, according to a 2024 Bankrate survey, 42% of Americans said that they used at least part of their tax refund to pay down debt. That's a snowflake in action. Why snowflakes matter? Snowflakes do more than just shrink your balance. They shift your mindset. Every time you apply a snowflake, you're reinforcing your identity. I am someone who uses money with purpose. I am someone who finishes what I start. And here's the kicker. Snowflakes often show up when you're paying attention. The more intentional you are with your money, the more opportunities you'll notice. In another one of my favorite real-time strategy games, Age of Empires, you could sometimes find hidden resources on the map, gold mines, relics, or even trade routes. They weren't obvious at first, but once you discovered them, they gave you a huge advantage. Snowflakes are the same. They're hidden resources that can turn the tide of your debt battle. Staying motivated when progress feels slow. Let's talk about the emotional side of all of this, because even with a solid plan and snowflakes in your pocket, there will be days when it feels like nothing's happening. You're making payments, but your balance barely moves. You're sacrificing, but the finish line, it still feels far away. Here is how you stay in the fight. First, track your progress visually. Use a debt thermometer, a spreadsheet, a whiteboard. Color in your progress, make it visible, and make it real. Second, celebrate milestones. Paid off a credit card? Celebrate. Hit the halfway mark on your student loan? Celebrate. Found a $50 snowflake and used it wisely? Celebrate. Here's a quick action step. Set mini milestones and attach a reward. These rewards, they don't have to cost money. Maybe it's a movie night, a hike, or maybe just a moment to reflect and say, I am doing this. Third, remind yourself why. Debt freedom isn't just about numbers. It's about peace. It's about options. It's about being able to say yes to the things that matter most. Write down your why and keep it somewhere visible, on your fridge, in your wallet, on your phone lock screen. Fourth, use the Triggator Triangle. When motivation dips, revisit the triangle. Are you budgeting with clarity? Are you saving with purpose? Are you attacking debt with confidence? If one side is weak, reinforce it. That's how you stay balanced and battle ready. A real quick stat. A 2023 Fidelity survey found that people who set specific financial goals were 83% more likely to make progress than those who don't. You are winning more than you think. Every time you say no to a purchase and yes to your plan, you're winning. Every time you find a snowflake and send it into battle, you're winning. Every time you keep going, especially when it's hard, you're winning. You're not just paying off debt, you're building a new identity, a new future, a new story. And that story, it ends with freedom. You made it to the end of the debt battle plan. And if you're still here, you're not just surviving the fight, you're commanding the battlefield. You've scouted your enemies. You've chosen your strategy. You've deployed your troops with purpose. And now you're not just paying off debt. You're leading a campaign towards freedom. That's progress. That's power. That's Triggator. Today's challenge, it's simple. Launch your first strike. Take 15 minutes to download the Debt Battle Plan worksheet from Triggator.com/download-ebook. List every debt, no matter how small. Choose your strategy. Identify your first target. Because the battle, it doesn't start when you're debt-free. It starts when you take command. If this episode helped you build your debt battle plan or gave you the push to finally take action, let's keep that momentum going. Email me and tell me about it at podcast@Triggator.com, or message me on Instagram, Facebook, or X @Triggator, or tag us with your wins. If this episode helped you, follow the show so that your next financial win doesn't miss the map. Leave a review, especially if this episode helped you turn your debt plan from chaos into a campaign. Share this episode with a friend who's stuck in the debt loop and needs a battle plan that actually works. Make sure you follow @Triggator on X, Facebook, and Instagram for tips, tools, and behind-the-scenes content that'll help you lead your money with confidence. Coming up next time, the hidden budget busters, how to audit your spending plan like a CFO. Think your spending plan is airtight? think again. Next time, we're putting on our CFO hats and running a full audit, spotting leaks, inefficiencies, and silent budget busters like emotional and seasonal creep. You'll learn how to run a personal profit and loss review and reassign found money to strengthen your Triggator Triangle. If your money feels like it's disappearing faster than you can track it, this one's for you. Remember, every great commander wins not just with strength, but with strategy. You've got the plan, you've got the troops, now lead with clarity, consistency, and courage. Thanks for listening to Master Your Money, Budgeting, Saving, and Debt-Free Living. I'm your host, Nate Tanner. See you next time.